Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to do the reader profile book tag. Alright y'all, so I got this tag idea from Tiffany over at Beautiful Minutia. I will leave her video down below, but I'm trying to get some videos done for the month of October. Today is Saturday, September 28th, and I'm filming so many videos. So have I changed my shirt like 6 times? Yes, but we're here. So this is one of the shirts I got when I was at Disney World. Isn't it cute? Peace, heart, peace, love, heart. Oh my gosh. Peace, love, Disney. Okay, so alright. I say Disney. Did I say Disney World? Orlando. I didn't go to Disney World, but I went to Orlando. Alright, I went to Disney Springs. So anyway, neither here nor there. Let's get into the prompts. This sounds like a really fun book tag. I haven't even prepared a lot of the answers. I kind of skimmed over it. I kind of feel like this will be something quick to get through, so just to have an extra video to chit chat about some things. And yeah, we're just gonna get into it. So this will be a fun video just to kind of get to know more about me as a reader. So most of y'all already know me, but we're here. Question number 1 is, what for you makes a good book? And honestly, for me, it really boils down to, is there character depth? Is there a lot of growth in our characters? And for Christian fiction, is there good faith content? Was it engaging? Did it have, of course, a good romance? I love a good romance. But even if it wasn't meant to be a romance, like really taking a step back and saying, what was this book meant to be? What was the author trying to accomplish? All of those good things. And saying, was this something that I'm going to remember for a long time? Is it something that is going to stick with me? It is my most favorite Christian fiction of all time. And in that video, I kept saying, these are books that have stuck with me, right? Like, even from years later. And like, for me, that's one thing. It's like, is it forgettable? You know, like if it's not forgettable, that's really important, you know? And just really that layer of character depth and growth and the writing style, like able to relate and engage with the story and the characters, that really is important to me. So yeah. Question number 2, what are you currently reading? Well, what am I not currently reading might be more of the question, but yeah, I have some books here that I've got like 7 books I'm currently reading on. Anyway, I'm currently reading today, as of today, I'm almost done with book 2 in the True Crime Junkies series. And the name of this is Leaving Me. He Walks Among Us, I think is what it's called, by Christy Barrett. Book 1, I don't remember the name of the book 1 at all. It's called, I'll put the picture on the screen. But I'm reading book 2, buddy reading that with my friend Teresa and Lindsay Lemus. So hopefully I can finish that tonight. Outside of that, I'm still reading In Pieces by Rhonda Ortiz. This is a Catholic fiction that was recommended to me by Tammy at the Protagonist Pub, and I'm really enjoying it. It's like a marriage and convenience type story at some point in this book. I think it's more towards the end. And so it's a historical fiction, got some good faith content and things like that, but I'm not quite done. So I'm halfway, and I've just had to put this down. In the meantime, there's not an audiobook for this, and so physical reading has not been happening lately for me, outside of some ARCs I had to get done, ebooks and stuff. So hopefully I can get back to this at some point, because I was really enjoying the story. I have a couple nonfiction books that I don't even know when I'm going to finish them. I'm still in the Becoming Elizabeth Elliot. This was a Revive Book Club pick for a win like 2 months ago, 3 months ago or something. It was in July. At this point, I just haven't been in the mood to finish this. I was enjoying it, but I ended up just putting it down. Nonfiction, I just wasn't in the mood. So I will go back to this. It's by Ellen Vaughn. I have the audiobook for this, so hopefully at some point when I'm in the mood for it, I'll get back to it. And this one's been on the back burner for like months, and it's The Gift of the Unexpected by Jillian Bidfield. This is a special needs Christian nonfiction. Her son has Down syndrome, and I was really enjoying this. I was tabbing some things, but again, physical reading has not been happening a whole lot, so I have to like really be in the headspace to sit down and be ready to read this. So yeah, those are 2 that have been on the back burner that are still sitting on my currently reading that I haven't really gotten to yet. Let me go back to my Goodreads and kind of see too, just to make sure I'm not lying to y'all. Is there something I'm missing? Cause honey, it's the whole thing. I think that's it. Oh no, I'm lying. The Fight for Female by Lisa Bevere. I still haven't gotten, I'm 15%. I haven't read no more, so need to get back in. All my nonfiction has been on the back burner, you guys. So that's really it. So yeah, we'll see kind of what I get into later. So yeah, back to the questions. The last book you didn't finish and why? Oh, I can't remember. Let's see. I didn't prepare very good for this. The last DNFs I had, Hawthorne Legacy was one of them. Didn't really get into it. It's book 2 in the Inheritance Games. Tried to buddy read it with my friend Teresa. We just really didn't care at this point. We tried. It wasn't working out, you know. And let's see. I didn't mark it. I guess I didn't mark it. But I had one sitting over here. I actually was going to say, here we go. The Secret Book and Scone Society by Ellery Adams. This is one I just didn't really get on with. I read like the first 6 chapters and it just wasn't for me. It had like some sexual content that I just didn't really care for. So yeah, that's why I ended up DNF in this one. I do like Ellery Adams, her book Retreat Mystery or whatever that one's called. Mystery in the Murder and Mystery Suite or something like that. I really like that one. I'm going to continue on in that series. But this series just really wasn't for me. So definitely not really a cozy mystery. Had some language and stuff I just didn't care for. So yeah. Now, question number 4. What obscure book do you wish other people would read? So that's like one that not a lot of people talk about, I guess. I had to look that up. I was like, what's obscure? I didn't know what that meant. I couldn't remember what that meant. So it's like very unknown. You don't hear people talking about it. So I have to say Iscariot, you guys, like by Tosca Lee. I don't see enough people talking about Tosca Lee. You know, I had this one sitting out too. Hava, this is one. I'm using this for a book tag, another book tag. This is the story of Eve. I don't see a lot of people talking about her for biblical fiction. I see so many talk about like Misu Andrews, Angela Hunt, Tessa Afshar, Connelly Cassette. I'm looking at my list here of people I've got. Jill Eileen Smith. But I don't see a ton of people talking about Tosca Lee and this story all about Judas Iscariot and what his life would have been like during that time. So, yeah, I think that this is one that is underrated and a lot of people need to check out. It's a very impactful read. It's one of my favorite Christian fiction books of all time. I talked about it in that video. So, yeah, I'm so sorry. This lighting, I'm just looking at it on the hub's phone. It looks so different than mine. I feel like it's so like, damn, I'm sorry. But we're here. I'm glad I'm just filming it at least. But, yeah, this is definitely one I think more people need to read because it's really relatable. And I really saw a lot of myself in this. I had a lot of convictions that come up and how we're really not all that different than Judas was outside of the blood of Jesus, right? That's the only thing that really separates us from him and our salvation in Christ. And I mean, how many times when I was a Judas and didn't want to even acknowledge the Lord and was in betrayal, you know, how many times was I like that in my life? And then I came back to the Lord and he really rescued me and he saved me. And it's just, we're not that different, you know? We live in a fallen world and the Lord, he saves us all from our sins. And all we have to do is ask him and come to know him and have that relationship with him. And, so yeah, I think this is a really important read for so many people that I don't see a lot of people talking about. 5, what's the longest book you've ever read? Back in the day, probably one of the Outlander books. It was like 800 pages, but I don't read that no more. So, outside of that, oh, what is it? Assassin's Apprentice? Or not Assassin's Apprentice, sorry. That's the shortest one of them all, Amanda. Is it Royal Assassin, maybe? Uh-oh, don't lose that mug. I'm about to break something. Royal Assassin was 600, okay, we'll just say that. 630 something pages, Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. I'm sure there's one longer than this, but before that, I would have to send the Outlander books, but, you know, like I said, I'm not really continuing on in that series or reading those anymore or promoting those at all. So, yeah, I would say Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. I read this year, and I really enjoyed my experience reading this. I have a whole vlog dedicated to reading this. If you're not seeing it, I will link it. It's in July whenever I read it, and it was for her birthday month, and I need to continue on in Assassin's Quest. I've got it sitting up there staring at me. So, Fitz's journey was so powerful, and there was so much that happened in this. So, yeah, definitely that one be one of them. We'll see. Warbreaker's another one I read. How long is this one? Warbreakers, also 600 something pages by Brandon Sanderson. So that's another one So I need to reread that, though, at some point. I'm not a big fantasy girly, so, like, usually those are the chunky books, right? Spinning Silver is another one. It's a fantasy book. How long is it? 466. Not by Naomi Novik. I'm just looking around. I don't see much else on the shelf anyway. I'm sure I'm easily missing something, but we're just going to go with those. So, yeah. Question number 6. If you could have a dinner party with 5 fictional characters, who would they be with? Oh. Well, Bilbo Baggins, number 1 from The Hobbit. Could The Lord of the Rings also count as the longest book ever read? Because technically ain't that one whole book, but they just broke it up into 3. Anyway, go ahead. We're going on. Yeah, Bilbo Baggins, like, really any of the characters in Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit. I think that would be fun. Gandalf and all them. And who else? I think Libby from When the Day Comes, right? Like, wouldn't that be fun? I'd love to talk to her. How's the time travel and stuff, girl? Let me know. Who else? Oh, Mrs. Kip. I need some wisdom from Mrs. Kip at a dinner party, okay? From The Extraordinary Guest of Mrs. Kip by Sarah Brunsfold. Put that back on the shelf. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm like literally about to break my books. You guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm doing a lot of tag videos, so books are everywhere. What else? Who else? Maybe Frankie from The Women. Is that what they call? Yeah, Frankie. Hey. I think I would like to talk to her about being in Vietnam War. This is such a, by Kristen Hanna. This book was so powerful. The only thing I didn't like about it was some of the romance stuff, the infidelity that's in this, but outside of that, this story was very powerful, and I would definitely say she would be one that would be like somebody I really want to talk through her experiences and learn from. So I also think, can we have Mr. Darcy at the dinner party? Can we have him? Okay, and Elizabeth. Let's just have both of them at the dinner party. Okay, maybe that's all I'm going to say for right now. I love this edition. Why do I have 5 editions of Pride and Prejudice? Is that a toxic trait? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I think that's it, honestly. You know, I don't really, brain ain't working very good, so. All right, next. So, question number 7, sorry. 5 books you'd want if stranded on a desert island. Now, I have always said, when this question comes up, The Lord of the Rings, because that's technically sold as one book, and I could reread it as much as I want. Love Lord of the Rings. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And to have the Bible. We have to have the Bible. That's number 1. Some of the topless books by Gabriel Meyer. Okay. When the Day Comes. That's my favorite Christian fiction of all time. I'd love to reread that several times. So what is that, 3? What's another? I need 2 more. What? Pride and Prejudice would have to be number 4. Is The Hobbit number 5 because it's technically outside of Lord of the Rings? I don't know. Little Women. Little Women. Just saying it up there. Little Women. Yep. Little Women. That'll be it because that was a very powerful story that I loved. That's actually, oh, y'all, that could also be the longest book I ever read. That's it. Oh my gosh, you guys. There it is. Let's get it off the shelf. So I can show you. All right. Amanda, what? That is the longest book I've ever read. 750 something pages. Little Women, one of my favorite classics of all time. I loved it. Read it last year. I had a whole vlog for it. How did I forget that, you guys? Oh my gosh. We ain't gonna worry about putting that back up there right now because I'll probably make a big old mess. One of my favorite books of all time. So, yeah, that's it. All right. And question number 8. One book you could not put down. I'm going to have to go with one I talked about recently, and that is, where's she be? Where's she at? There she is. Notice I said she. Dangerous Beauty by Melissa Coslin. It's the last book I read that I just couldn't put down. I literally, if I didn't have to work the next day, I would have read this in one night. One sitting. Okay? And that's another video I plan to do. Books you can read in one sitting. I need to do that. But this is it. This is it, you guys. Like, this was so good. I'm going to leave my review down below. I gave this 4.5 stars. This is a marriage and convenience story. It deals with human trafficking. It was a very powerful story. Good Christian fiction, has some good faith content. Wasn't perfect, but it was one of my favorite books. Definitely honorable mention of the year. So could not put it down. A buddy read this, my friend Melissa, and we were like, what? What? Oh my gosh. And we were like messaging back and forth. So our first buddy read was a success. So yeah. Question number 9. 5 authors or books. Oh, a little spice. A little spice in here, okay? And not that kind of spice. Some tea. How about that? 5 books or authors you will never read. Now, I'm planning on doing the anti-TBR tag, so I don't want to spoil that. So let's pick some different ones I don't plan to talk about in that video, you guys. How about that? I'm looking back to see what Tiffany said. Okay, she said, well, yeah, A Court of Thorns and Roses and Colleen Hoover. We're the same, Tiffany. Oh my gosh, we're the same. I forgot what you said. I'm scrolling through your video and looking at the pictures you put on the screen. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's some answers though from my anti-TBR tag. I guess I'll just say it. So yeah, Court of Thorns and Roses stuff. I'm not reading that mess at all. Then I'm not reading any more Colleen Hoover. I used to read her back in the day. Nope, done. And we'll talk more about that in the anti-TBR tag. As far as Christian fiction goes, I don't plan to read any more Carmen Schober. That's an author. Don't plan to read her anymore. More about that in the anti-TBR tag. That's some of the answers from that. Abby Jimenez. I don't ever plan to read her. I tried it. It's a no for me. We'll talk more about her in the anti-TBR tag. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna move on. So yeah. Okay. Oh, this anti-TBR tag, you guys, is gonna be fun. I might have to schedule this before that. I ain't even filmed it yet. I was going to film it after this. So, number 10. If you were to write a book, what would it be about? I would think, at this point in my life, it would be some sort of Christian nonfiction, all about, like, motherhood from a special needs perspective. Like, special needs motherhood with a child with autism. And just our journey through that. And how the Lord has been good in our son and what he has done in our son's life. And like how the struggles you have in your marriage, the struggles you have as a parent and as a mom, just in general, and struggles that you have with others who may not understand the diagnosis, like in your family, like there's just struggles in general with your child, and what you can do to try to make them be the most successful, and the prayers that you would pray for your child specifically, and probably include those sort of things. So yeah. I don't really write. I'm definitely not an author, but if I was, that's probably what it would be about. So yeah. Okay. So that's everything for this tag. I hope I didn't skip any questions. I feel like I might have, but it's only 10 questions. If you want to do this video, please feel free to do so. Just a really quick video. Okay. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's chit chat down below in the comments as always. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye y'all.